Lebanon's Prime Minister makes a bold appeal to the world. Help his government disarm Hezbollah, or watch the country slide deeper into crisis. Billions needed for reconstruction, a restless army wary of direct confrontation, and foreign powers divided on the path forward. As the UN prepares to withdraw peacekeepers, the countdown begins. Can Lebanon curb Hezbollah before conflict reignites? Lebanon's Prime Minister has said the international community needs to step up financial support for the fragile country and its army if his government is to succeed in its ambitious plan to disarm Hezbollah. Speaking to the Financial Times this week, Nawaf Salam said funding from Western and Arab states was key to stabilizing Lebanon after the war between Israel and Hezbollah last year left swaths of the country in ruins.
We have done what we needed to do. To go further, we need Arab and international support. We need support in terms of equipment and finances to the army, and clear financial support for reconstruction and recovery. And we need it now. Now is the time for them to step in.
Lebanon is facing a monumental challenge, rebuilding a nation battered by war, economic collapse, and political paralysis. According to the World Bank, Beirut will need at least $14 billion just to begin reconstruction. Added to that is the cost of shoring up Lebanon's under-resourced military, which, under the terms of the latest ceasefire agreement with Israel, must take control of southern regions long dominated by Hezbollah. But international donors are skeptical. As the Financial Times reports, Western and Arab governments have made it clear to Lebanese officials no money will flow until Beirut shows concrete steps against Hezbollah. That's why the government's pledge earlier this month to disarm the group is historic. For the first time since the end of the civil war in 1990, Beirut has openly positioned itself against Hezbollah's arsenal. But pledges are one thing. Enforcement is another. Salam has assembled a cabinet of competent technocrats who work despite offices with peeling paint, little to no electricity and bare-bones staffing. But he is also, some say, a micromanager who eschews advisors and is unable to make fast enough progress.
People say I'm stubborn and undiplomatic, but I simply refuse to compromise on my principles. We hoped the people of Lebanon would give his incremental approach a chance. People want 24-hour electricity today. They want inflation to stop. But I can't give them that. You can't build a house without foundations. And right now, we are laying the foundations. We are at the ground floor and we are building up. It won't be Le Corbusier, but it will work.
To skeptics, none of this will be enough for the monumental challenge of disarming Hezbollah. There were indications this week that the plan was already faltering. After a visit by US Special Envoy, Tom Barrack ended without Israel taking what Salam called a real step. Measures Salam said were essential to advance the deal and had been promised by US officials.
We told Barrack that the Israelis need to take a real step. They need to show us they're willing to start withdrawing from Lebanese territory, stop their daily incursions, and release the prisoners. Just pick one and put something on the table. Our main focus has been restoring the faith of the Lebanese people and the international community in his country. And to do that, we needed rule of law and reforms.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Salam faces mounting domestic pressure, as the battered army has been tasked with drawing up a plan to dismantle the once dominant force in Lebanon by August 31st, and to implement it by the end of the year. According to the National News Report on August 29th, the Lebanese army chief has argued that he does not want his institution to confront Hezbollah directly, stressing that it is unrealistic to devise such a plan without cooperation from the group.
The army is not happy with the process, and Brig Gen Rodolphe Haikal has at some point threatened to resign. He wants the government to pursue a comprehensive agreement and avoid putting the army in a direct confrontation with the group and other factions in Lebanon. President Joseph Aoun, himself a former army commander, appears more understanding of the military's complicated situation than the government.
After a visit to Lebanon on August 27th, US Senator Lindsey Graham, speaking in Tel Aviv, said that if Hezbollah does not agree to disarm, it should face military action.
If we cannot reach a peaceful disarmament solution for Hezbollah, then we need to look at Plan B. Plan B is disarming Hezbollah by military force.
Graham also said Washington should back the Lebanese armed forces in efforts to disarm Hezbollah, adding that it was in America's interest to ensure the army's success. The Lebanese government is expected to present a plan next week for disarming Hezbollah. Earlier, on August 26th, Graham warned that Lebanon's political and economic future and its regional and international standing hinge on disarming Hezbollah, saying the step is essential for unlocking international support and stability. Speaking at a press conference in Beirut, after meeting Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, US Senator Lindsey Graham warned that Lebanon faces a historic choice. He urged disarming Hezbollah and Palestinian groups, strengthening the Lebanese army as the sole legitimate force, and said the prospect of a US-Lebanon defense pact could transform the country. Graham also stressed the importance of protecting Lebanon's religious diversity. The United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to end the UN peacekeeping mission in southern Lebanon after nearly 5 decades. The decision, taken on August 28th, will see UNIFIL withdraw its 10,800 personnel by December 31st, 2026. The US, backed by Israel, had pressed for an earlier shutdown, but the Council settled on a 16-month final mandate with limited operations.
The security environment in Lebanon is radically different than just 1 year ago, creating the space for Lebanon to assume greater responsibility.
UNIFIL was first deployed in 1978 to oversee Israel's withdrawal from southern Lebanon and expanded after the 2006 war with Hezbollah. But Washington now sees the mission as costly and ineffective, arguing it has only delayed efforts to curb Hezbollah's power. Israel's UN envoy, Danny Danon, went further, accusing the mission of shielding Hezbollah, saying UNIFIL has overlooked Hezbollah's vast military buildup, providing the group cover to entrench itself. Lebanese leaders, however, had urged the UN to maintain its presence, warning that the country's overstretched military cannot secure the volatile border alone. Prime Minister Salam cautiously welcomed the extension, thanking states that understood Lebanon's concerns. But Algeria's envoy Amr Benjama warned that stability will remain elusive unless Israel ends its occupation of Lebanese territory. As UNIFIL prepares to leave, the burden of security in southern Lebanon will soon fall squarely on the Lebanese army, a test for a fragile state and a volatile region.